the playgroup. Hello, everyone. This is my new friend. Hello.
What a lovely drawing. Why don't you take it and hang it in Peppa's house?
Oh, hey, look, everyone. It's my new best friend, Silent Sofie. How are you doing today? Aw, well, isn't that cute, playing with your little dolls? Yeah, I'm having a nice day off myself. Oh, are we going to play with our box now? What's that all about? I see. You have a movie you want me to watch. Is it a good movie? Well, what's it about? Ah, I see. 1999's Rock and Roll Frankenstein. That sounds interesting. A scientist stitches together body parts from rock's greatest artists in an effort to create a brand new superstar? Well, that actually sounds like a good movie. But then they accidentally give him Liberace's penis? I don't want to watch that. Okay. I'll take it to the viewing room.
You stole Liberace's schlong. You stupid fucking piece of shit.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, God, why? Why? Okay. Let's just get this over with. Here's the sleaze docket. We have 6 dead bodies, 5 cups blood, 4 naked breasts, 2 naked butts, 2 naked dongs, 1 giant green talking penis, 1 bag of fetuses, 1 zombie rat, 1 zombie cow head, 1 giant diaper, 1 partially eaten gerbil, 10 condom suffocated gerbils, 1 photo shoot montage, Jimi Hendrix's severed hands, Sid Vicious's severed ass, Keith Moon's severed legs, Elvis Presley's skull, Jim Morrison's severed penis, Liberace's severed penis, Lassie's severed penis, Toccata in D minor cliche, Night on Bald Mountain cliche, literal gore porn, casual necrophilia admission, illegible stitch font credits, defibrillator genitals, 1 hydrochloric acid dissolved penis, 1 disemboweling, 1 sexually penetrated disemboweling wound, 1 death by stooping, giant crucifix sodomy death, scalpel to the heart, 2 thumb gouged eyes, 1 hand crushed skull, electric hook severed penis, and jumpsuit camel toe. Folks, I'm not going to lie, this movie is the core example of wasted potential. This one really could have been a cult classic movie that was way ahead of the game. But instead, it sets up an incredible premise only to destroy it with gross homophobic stereotypes and the level of jokes you'd expect from a bunch of 5th grade boys trying to be edgy. So what is this one all about? As I said earlier, it's about a gifted scientist, Frankie Stein, who has discovered how to resurrect dead tissue. His sleazebag uncle, Bernie Stein, works in the music industry and is desperate for a client who won't bail on him the moment they become famous. So he comes up with the genius idea of literally making a star. He gets his dirtbag crew of flunkies to round up a list of body parts of famous rock stars, and for the most part they're pretty dependable, until it's time to get Jim Morrison's penis, which is preserved in some pervert's private collection of famous ding-dongs. In a scene that's borderline Three Stoogean, the morons drop the jar and accidentally place the pecker in hydrochloric acid. When their bong sets off the smoke alarm, they grab a random jar containing Liberace's member and hit the road. Naturally, they don't bother telling Bernie about the mix-up, and the experiment goes on as originally planned. Now, at first, this movie doesn't seem so bad. The setup is silly, and most of the negative stuff comes from Bernie, who's clearly the movie's asshole, so you can kind of forgive the blatant homophobia. But then it just devolves into really inappropriate territory. Once the monster, nicknamed King, starts making music, he begins getting uncomfortable and confusing feelings. Why? Because the vast majority of his body is made up of heterosexual body parts, but his penis is homosexual. And this causes some major internal conflict for King. And remember, it's 1999. Same-sex marriage wouldn't become legal in all 50 states for another 16 years. If you kids think the conservative shit fit over drag queens today is ridiculous, you should have seen what they were doing in the 90s when they didn't even really have social media to get organized. King keeps telling his friends that he's confused and nothing makes sense. He's in a world where everyone expects him to bang women, but that's clearly not what he's into, and everywhere he turns, homosexuality is seen as an aberration, a sickness, unnatural. So instead of exploring those feelings, he suppresses them, and it leads to violent outbursts. You see where this is going? If they had continued down that path and made King into an allegory for the homosexual experience, I think it would have been a genius move, even with the ridiculously childish writing. Unfortunately, that's not the direction this movie takes. Instead, King experiments with gerbils. A lot. And eventually, Liberace's voice starts emanating from King's penis. And they make him out into the worst sexual deviant that ever existed.
If you want me standing at attention, then you better get me some soft butt cheeks to shoot a load in.
Huh?
Oh, you heard me.
Oh, Lord. I'm losing my mind.
And by the way, I'm partial to Filipino boys.
Filipino boys?
And as we all know, historically, that's what Liberace is best known for, his perverted sexual appetite that knew no bounds. At one point, it feels like they were gonna pull this movie back from the brink when King confesses to Frankie that his penis is getting him in trouble. Frankie actually says,
"You gotta face what you are. You can't keep living in denial."
There's almost a glimmer of hope that King has some people who care for him no matter what. But once King accidentally kills Frankie, there's no one left to help him work through his conflict. Again, this could have been a chance to show that with some kind of support network, King could have figured it all out and come to terms with who he really is. But then he ends up in a bathroom full of deviant stereotypes straight out of the GOP's playbook, and the movie ends with the monster rejecting his homosexuality by using a crane to rip his penis off in a warehouse full of gerbils. He falls over dead, the penis crawls away laughing, and we roll the credits. Jesus fucking Christ. I've done a lot of movies that have aged quite poorly since they first came out, but this one definitely is one of the worst offenders of that one. In a lot of cases, these situations can be looked past with a, well, it was a different time sort of idea. Hell, just look at the backlash a lot of people have over John Hughes movies these days. Yeah, there's some inappropriate stuff in there, but that doesn't mean we can't still enjoy those movies. I'm a big believer that movies of the past can be a stark reminder of how things used to be, and we can be disappointed when we see that. But we should also remind ourselves that's a sign of progress. When we find things that are no longer acceptable, we shouldn't lash out in anger about it and try to censor it to be more in line with modern standards. We should commend ourselves on what we've improved while remembering what it used to be like. I promise you, all of you progressives out there, in about 20 years, the new generation is going to look back and wonder what the hell was wrong with you. And while you watch your favorite movies from the 2020s and lament about how good they used to be, the new standard for the 2040s will look at you like you were out of your goddamn minds. We should never stop improving, but we should also stop acting like our time is the best it could ever be, because we can always be better. Rock and Roll Frankenstein, however, isn't a movie that feels out of place for 2024. It's a movie that feels out of place for 1999. I remember very well how I felt back then, and I've always considered myself an ally of the homosexual community. And going with the "we're never done improving" argument, that has grown into the full LGBTQIA+ community, even if I'm an old dog who doesn't fully understand a lot of the subtleties contained within. So there's absolutely no part of me that can recommend this movie for anyone. And it's really disappointing when you think of how amazing this movie could have been if only the writers hadn't decided to make it sound like the feculent filth spewed from the mouths of the Westboro Baptist Church. And with that disgusting diatribe down and dusted, it's definitely the time of day to dismiss you all. So until I greet you for the next nauseous narrative, which is hopefully a step up in quality from this piece of shit, this is your old pal Sugar Pants. See you in your dreams.
I'm using full voltage.
Zap him in the balls this time.